Okay, so let's call the meeting of January 12th, 2022 to order. Take the roll call, please.
Mayor Siciliano,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Here.
Councilmember Achara.
Here.
Donlin,
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Got everybody?
Yep.
All present and attended? Okay, there's no pledge at this point. It's a workshop meeting, so we're going to go right into the notice requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice sent to the Asbury Park Press, Coaster, posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 9th, 2021. I want to go over the agenda there, Dave.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year, everybody.
I just got a couple of quick updates and then I'm gonna hand off to Greg to give us an engineering report. Some of you I was able to talk to, some I may not have, but we have a handle on the deer management plan. We will be responding to a Department of Environmental Protection, Division of Fish and Wildlife report. There's about 11 items that they're requesting from the township. So the administration's already begun to put those 11 items together and we'll resubmit back to DEP and then we'll see where we go in regards to our deer management plan.
Great. Good
The
stuff.
other item that I had to discuss was the cannabis cultivator and manufacturer licenses. We only have one applicant came in, Illicit Gardens LLC. It is on for your approval tonight. This would be only simply giving your endorsement as the governing body to this one entity who has applied for both a Class 2 manufacturing license and a Class 1 cultivation license. So resolutions 22017 and 018 are applicable to this. We did have a full review from the attorneys and as well as in-house community development and myself reviewed it. If anybody wishes to see our review, I did have Kate Maloney write up a memo. So we have that memo. And I think a lot of these things outside the endorsement will be addressed in the next steps because they still got to go to the state to get their license, their official license, and then they have to come back and go to the land use board. So a lot of things will be tightened up at the land use board regarding the site and the things they want to do on the site, security plans, noise reduction, and things of that nature.
So we're just approving the successful bidder, basically. That's what it comes
Yes,
down
so
to, right?
so at this point, when you approve tonight, you're endorsing them. And as you know, you only allowed one license each. So this will be your endorsement of the one license unless you come back later and amend the ordinance to expand.
So we only have one in the township.
For cultivation and manufacturing, you still
Okay.
have two other classes that are available.
So can I ask a question, and this might be to Marty, Dave? So the resolution doesn't use the word endorse. It just says that it meets the requirements within the town for zoning. So help me understand where endorsement comes in. I know we've had that conversation before, I get it, but this resolution doesn't say endorsement.
Well, the endorsement terminology, excuse me, Marty, if I'm overstepping, comes from the state. That's just state language. I think the resolution that Matt Good presented for you is fine. But technically what you're doing is you're just endorsing these two. Once you do this, you can't endorse anybody else after this.
Yeah, I think it's just saying that they've met our, they filed the application meets our requirements, and now you go before the state, and the state then does their review and makes a determination as to whether or not they should be issued a license.
So back to then your comments, Dave, and I respectfully, Marty, for sure about that? No disrespect?
Well, I think a little disrespect, but that's again, this is an issue I've turned over to Matt That's my understanding.
So then, Dave, I lost my train of thought. So what you said about Kate written up stuff. So how do I want to phrase this? Sorry, guys and ladies. Even though they're first, let me go back. I thought we were doing an RFP and I thought we were soliciting responses. This is the only one that responded?
Correct.
Sounds like.
Yep, we were out for about 3 weeks, to almost a month, and we only got the one response. For cultivation and manufacturing, because you still have 2 other classes, which I don't have off the top.
But what, well, wait, I thought we only allowed these 2.
Now we
I
like
think you allowed, I think it was either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6.
4.
The only one you didn't allow was for distribution, basically, for the
Because we
sale.
didn't allow distribution or retail.
You know,
Okay, but what else is there? There's medical.
You
It
guys
has
said
nothing to do with medical.
about
Yeah.
transportation, you were mentioning that you didn't want to do, which didn't make any sense because you kind of have to transport it.
Well, you're allowed to do the transportation from, anybody can come in and deliver it to residents in the town. But we didn't have the transportation service that would deliver to people. That wasn't allowed. Or you have to truck it from a manufacturer to a retailer, whatever. That's allowed. We didn't prohibit that, but we won't allow the entity that delivers to homes to be in the town.
David,
But that's what we said anyway.
right. So being that they are the only person, and let's say by some stroke of unluck for them that they get bumped out of the box, they don't get chosen, does that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe somebody else could potentially put in a request to us asking for a letter of support if they get bumped out completely. Am I right or wrong, Dave?
correct. So but right now, this would be our choice right now. You have 4 classes in the ordinance, going back to the mayor's question. Right now, we're doing class 1 and 2, cultivator, manufacturer. You have class 3, which is a wholesaler, and then class 4 is a distributor. So those are the other 2 licenses that are still going to be out there.
And back to, if I can follow up with John's question. So if they don't get through, or let me do it a different way. At what point can we, I'll use the term endorse, a second applicant? We can't do that until they're denied by somewhere along the process?
Correct.
Yeah, well, once we have basically said they meet our requirements and we're only allowing one, we can't now allow anybody else. So until they hear from the state, they are the only applicant that would be allowed on those 2 items.
Okay.
If everybody's good, then I'll turn it over to Greg at this time for engineering report.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Haven't seen you in a while, so my report's a little on the lengthy side, but I know there's a lot of information you guys wanted me to collect for you, and I think I've got almost everything you wanted. Number 1, I just want to tell you that the traffic impacts down in the Colonial Terrace area, we have, with the county engineer, contacted them, and we are doing a joint meeting on Wednesday, January 26th with all the folks from the Colonial Terrace. With the COVID, it will be a virtual meeting. Obviously, all the council will be invited to that. That's why Jesse had actually put that in the publication and advertised the meeting. So it will be a full public virtual meeting with all those folks, just to kind of bring them in and just to kind of let you know where we're standing on that. The county engineer is going to listen to them, but I've already had a forward conversation with them, and we are going to propose a no left turn off Asbury Avenue. So that, I think, is going to solve 99% of the problems in there. And county's been willing to go to full no left turns on the other road there too. It's a little closer to the circle. I forget the name of the road off the top of my head, but I said I didn't know if that was necessary at this point. But just doing the no left turn on Bilmer is going to help tremendously, and we'll watch the situation from there. Okay, second item, I talked to the county engineer about West Park Avenue paving improvements. I know Dave, you had a question if that was their final repairs for the winter. He did not get back to me. I did text him again today and called him at 4:30 and he didn't get back to me. So I'll have to probably put that off to the next meeting. And when he gets back to me, I'll let you know. But I did tell him we were unhappy with their repairs because they didn't seem like they were very, still going to sustain through the winter. So he was going to look into that for me.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item was, Rob, you wanted me to look into the Amazon delivery routes. And I talked to the traffic engineer for Amazon. He said all their delivery trucks, the big vehicles, will be coming in off of 18 and the Parkway, using Route 66 to get into the mall area. So they would not be using any of our local roads. So taking that for what it is, I guess we will just monitor where their truck routes come in and out of to make sure that isn't actually the facts of what they do.
Thank you, Greg. Is that just for our facility? What about the Tinton Falls facility?
Tin Falls facility, I didn't ask them. I'm pretty sure that they said even Neptune was going to be serviced off of 18 and the Parkway. They're going to be coming down Route 66. I would assume Tinton Falls would be the same thing. They would probably come off of 18 somewhere up on Wayside Road up in Tinton Falls, or on the Parkway. They could get off at 102 and be in the heart of Tinton Falls, or 10. I don't know the other exit they could get off because they'd be down at 66. They wouldn't be able to get into Tinton Falls. But we'd probably have to look into Tinton Falls. I wasn't too sure they had a problem with Tinton Falls either, but they said they were all their vehicles will be using those two roads to get here.
Yeah, I think candidly, Greg, I think it was more the Tinton Falls facility than ours, because to your point, they're going to come in off of 66 for that, or Sunset, 66. Well, 66, that's the only way in for the most part. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll ask them, because if they came in off 18, they'd be going up 66 up Asbury Avenue, which would be, our side of Asbury Avenue, which is a county road, but they'd still be coming that way. Then it's a matter of where they get to the facility. They would be possibly going to Green Grove, or they could turn up Wayside and hook up with Green Grove on the north side and come back the other way.
And I think that's what.
So I'll ask them that. I'll get back in touch with them and ask them.
Right, thank you. I think that's what the issue is. The folks on Green Grove are concerned that they're coming that way. It doesn't make sense to do it. I agree, but thank you.
Yeah, you never know. But I'll ask them to see, because I'm sure they probably did the truck routes and they know. I'll just have to make sure they use the same traffic engineer for that facility, but I'll check it. Okay, the next item I had on my list was we had a request from a resident to put sidewalks on Wickapeckle between Corley's and Wood End. The reason being there's no sidewalks there and the kids walk on, from Point, down, they're walking down to Edgemere. And one of the things that when I looked at it, we have sidewalk on the east side of the road there. So what I'm going to recommend, I haven't contacted the resident yet. I wanted to run it past you guys. I would prefer to put a crosswalk at Woods End across Wickapeckle, come down the east side of Wickapeckle, cross back over to the west side at Corley's, and then we would put sidewalk in front of the Women's Club down to Darlene. The reason I would like to do that is because if we come down the west side of Wickapeckle, we're going to have to take down several arborvitae, about eight arborvitae, which are very healthy and about 25 foot tall, and a couple of trees just to put the sidewalk in, when there's a viable sidewalk on the other side of the road.
The problem with that, Greg, is, I hear what you're saying. It's just, if you think about it, say they have a kid going to Wanamassel school, you're under 10 years old. So you're walking across the street, go down a block and a half, cross the street again, come on. I don't know.
They're going to ride down the road.
Yeah, there's no other way we can connect that, huh? I ride by all the time. I didn't think it was that tight.
Yeah, the only way we could probably do it is we probably would have to trim back the arborvitae, and I could put the sidewalk adjacent to the curb there just to avoid cutting the trees
Make it
down.
tight, yeah, like we did we did that somewhere else where it's really tight, but we got it in there. Maybe it was Deal Road when we couldn't transition, but I just think it's better to do it that way. Remember, it's not high school. These are little kids going to that school.
Right. Okay, I'll look into doing that. We don't have to get it tight to the curb across that one property.
we'll take a macadam path for that stretch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just something to keep
All
them on one side of the road. I just think that's important.
Okay. All right. We will do that.
All right.
Okay. Next item, just want to let you know, we're going to be applying for a grant for the upgrades to the women's locker room shower at the pool club. We had fixed the men's shower. We put a handicap stall in there. We did not have enough money to do both. So now we're going to go for a grant to do the one on the women's side. So we'll be filing for that probably in February. Okay, next item was the South Edgemere roadway failure. I just wanted to update you on that. We did receive our emergency permit from the DEP to do the work. So I'm ready to go with that. The plans are done. I'm currently in contact with JCP&L because the lines are unfortunately on that side of the road. And for us to put the sheet pile in, we can't lift the sheet pile up because their service lines are in the way. So I have a meeting with Frank Luna and his guys next week to talk to them about doing some emergency services and relocating those lines on a temporary basis for us so we can get that sheet piling in. Okay, next one. In the we had a complaint, not really a complaint, a question from Rolling Meadows about the sidewalk that went to nowhere. I was going to put that sidewalk continuation in the 22 road program this year. It's going to go from, it's essentially all on Green Grove / Hope Road. It's going to go from where it ended all the way south to West Park Avenue. So just don't kind of take that off our list, but I will get that in the road program this year, just so you know. Okay, the next item was Margie had asked me about the environmental controls at the Route 35 and Deal shopping center project. And generally what happened there, the plans are approved with silt fence around the perimeter of the site to control the erosion and the runoff. What the developer did, we made him put in 2 rows of super silt fence because of the volume of area that he had cleared at first. But what's happened since he started work, the first thing they did was they built all their retaining walls along the low end of the site. Now these retaining walls vary anywhere between 4 and 6 feet in height. Mainly the lowest part of the site, the retaining walls are 6 feet. But what that has now created is a bowl on site of the property. So any rainwater that goes actually drains to the middle of their site into a large ponded area. So we don't really have to worry about any runoff coming off of there. And they're in the process of building their detention systems and their piping systems as we speak. So probably in another month and a half to 2 months, that'll be much better situation drain into their design detention facilities. Okay. Next thing is 1515 Logan update. We found a water fountain that's being put in this week. So once that's put in, now we can test the lead for in the water systems, and we'll get all environmental testing completed. The lead testing is for the water system is scheduled for January 28th of this month. So we should be in pretty good shape. And the bids are due for the bathroom renovations and the classroom renovations on the January 19th. So that'll probably be on for, if the bids come in good, that'll be on for your award at the 27th meeting. Okay, the next item was 12 Carberry. We have a head wall that was collapsing there that we're repairing. That's been kind of going back and forth on hold. We had delayed putting that in over the holidays. The contractor wanted to start the week before Christmas. We wouldn't let them. Homeowners, kind of agreed they didn't want to do it between Christmas and New Year's. So that's going to start next Wednesday. Should take about a week to get that done. Okay, the next item was the soil testing for Terrace and Snell Pond. We do have all that in place, ready to go. The only thing we're waiting for is a little more water because we're going to be using the fire department's boat, a little rubberized boat there, their little dinghy, their Zodiac, to get out into the water to take the sediments. And with the water being somewhat frozen, we can't get out there. So when we get a warm week, we'll do the sediment testing and we'll get that going. Next thing is I'm going to be leaving in your mailboxes in the town hall a 5G ordinance for the telecommunication systems. And just so you can review it, and we'll put it on for discussion. It's kind of a wide open thing. We just kind of want to get it going because we want to protect the town. Right now, the utilities have every right to go in and put a pole every 100 feet. What this ordinance is, what I put in the ordinance, there's like 3 or 4 things that are kind of a catch-all Everything else is really just pretty much boilerplate from the state and utilities. But one of the things we can do, we can limit their spacing by, as they have to go to at least 900 feet in spacing. They can't put these poles at busy intersections. They have to go underground. And they have to kind of, if we don't like their pole spacing, then they have to give us a report to show why they can't do it at 900 feet. They will also have to give us an overall map of the whole town before they start any of their utility work, so we know exactly how the spacing is going to go. It won't change midstream. And the other thing was, there was a fourth thing, but off the top of my head, I can't remember what it was. But I'll give you that ordinance probably in your mailbox by the end of the week. And if you can read it, we'll discuss it more at the 27th meeting.
Okay.
Okay, the next item was the paving of the BJ's jug handle. Found out we have insufficient funds to pave that. Talking to the CFO. So he does not have enough money to cover that cost. So we're going to have to wait till the new budgets are passed so we can bid that and get that done. So that was kind of a kick in the teeth to us after we got everything ready to go. And we were ready to go, and I even had a contractor lined up, but we obviously need to pay him. So that one will be put off until springtime.
So Greg, keep me honest if
Yep.
I can, or Marty, what's up with the bond that they have? We have to pay for it first and then take it out of their bond?
Well, I think the bond itself, I think we've decided to go after them individually by adding it to their assessment, because the bond, again, this is from 1986. I'm not sure if the bond is still a valid bond here, but we still have a property owner that is a viable property owner. We've told him to do it. We've told him that we're going to do it. He seems to not necessarily object to that. So they're going to, I think, hopefully they're going to voluntarily pay for it once we do it, or they're going to, we're going to end up in a litigation with it.
Yeah, one of the reasons we, Rob, why we had done it the way we did it, they do not have enough cash portion of their bond remaining to cover this. Remember, we did the first set round of improvements where we had potholes out there and there was a structure that was collapsing. We used that money, their cash portion of their bond to pay for that. But now they don't have enough money left in to pave the final course. So we are going to have to do that, and either they pay it or we lien the property.
And how much are we
How much
paying?
money do we have, do you know?
I'm pretty sure we used almost all of the cash portion of the bond. What I think we need $85,000 to do the remaining repairs and pave the road. And I think my guess would be they have less than $5,000.
What we should do is send me the numbers that they're gonna be charged, so they know that going in.
Well, the problem is I don't have them because we had let that bid go. We don't have the sufficient funds, and they won't hold their bid for the 5 months. So we're going to have to rebid that.
All right. Well, I think when we rebid it, let's send copies to them so they know about it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Okay, next item was the speed humps. We've located the 3 spots. I think the chief of police was in to talk to you about the 3 locations we've chosen. The one bit of information that I need from the council is I don't know if you want to put speed bumps in that slow people down to 15 miles an hour or slow them down to 5 miles an hour. And if we put the 5 mile an hour speed bumps in, I can guarantee you it will slow them down, because it's a teeth rattler if you try to go more than 7 or 8 miles an hour.
Right.
What are the roads?
So I did.
What were the roads, Greg? I think it might matter based on.
We had Westlake, Bimbler, and Park Boulevard were our 3 test locations.
I would say 15 definitely for Park Boulevard. It's a wide street. You do have the fire trucks once in a while going down there.
Yeah. One of the things, Mayor, I was going to recommend, I kind of agree with you. I would recommend that we go with the 15 mile an hour ones everywhere. And if it doesn't work, then next year in those bad locations where it didn't work, we'll put the 5 mile an hour ones in, because I think we're going to have a lot of complaints.
Yeah, 5's more for like the parking lots, like Costco has them now. I mean, that's where you need a 5, where you're not going to run a pedestrian walk in a cart.
Right.
And those are pretty nasty, those 5s. I mean,
yes,
I
they
get
are.
them going to the gym every day.
Yeah. And I think if we have a problem in those locations, we can always switch it next year, you know, because
Right.
these are things that are going to be temporary. We take out for the winter anyway. These are just seasonal. So, all right, we'll get that going with the 15-mile-an-hour ones. And the last thing I have on my list was we had a request from a resident on Poplar, or actually off of Poplar. They would like to see crosswalks be somewhere between Willow and Deal Road. So I was going to, with your permission, I was going to investigate that and see somewhere where we could put a crosswalk in, and I can throw it in the 22 program just to keep them happy on that side.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll look at that, and I'll talk to you at the next meeting about the location that I've kind of come up with, and we'll see if everybody's happy with that, and we'll put it in the program.
Okay. That's the
Okay,
last one.
That was the last thing, all I had.
All right, the only other thing I was gonna ask you, if you recall, I mean, if you talk to Frank Luna, see when he plans on having that public meeting there for the folks with the poles for the rebuild.
They've chosen to, I forget how they worded it. They did not choose to have a public meeting. They
Well, they were
chose
gonna
to.
do, well, they're gonna do
I
information. I thought they're gonna have a Zoom meeting.
think they wanted to get out of the Zoom meeting. They're just gonna have a public announcement type of a thing. I will double check with them again, but I know the because I've kind of been out of the direct loop with that. I know Ron
Yeah.
Kirkman's been talking to him, but I will find out and I will get back to you at the next meeting when they're gonna have that.
Yeah, let me know, because I'll call Frank. I mean, there's 3 things he was gonna do. Notify everybody with a notice, of course.
Yeah.
Then have it open for questions and answers.
Sure.
And then he did say he was gonna have a Zoom. They weren't gonna fly people out here, but they would have a informational. So
Right.
tell them that's what I heard. Anyway, that one, and then the pathway, the bike path going through Roller Road, west, east.
Yeah, I looked at that, and one of the problems we have, using recycled materials in there, it wasn't really going to work. So I'm going to have to come up with another surface that we put in there, and I'm just trying to find it like a chip stone or something that's conducive to walking and riding a bike. So I'm kind of trying to find something economical to do with that, because it's just this recycled material just is going to break down too much for us to do it and be chunky in there, and I don't want to really have an uneven walking surface.
Right.
So for our next meeting, I'll have a design for you for the cross section of that surface, that we can get that in there so we can install it this spring.
Okay.
Hey, Greg, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So it looks like in the town, there's a couple of these electrical boxes being put in. There's one over on Deal Road there. There's one over on Cindy Lane. They look like they're kind of underground wires. What is that? Do you know?
That is one of the Altice wireless communication systems. They have 3 boxes that were approved in town. There's also one on Sunset by the Coca-Cola plant.
Right.
Those are the 3 boxes they came in and asked for. I know that Dave and I have a meeting coming up with them. I believe it's next week, might be this Friday actually, to talk to them about further improvements. But yeah, these are the 5G and the future communication boxes that we're going to be dealing with that we want to address.
All right. So they're just doing it, huh? They just kind of put them in.
No.
And...
No, we gave them approval to do those because they were well out of the right of way. They have every right to do them. We kind of figured we wanted to get ahead of it, and we chose the locations for them because these are not where they wanted to put them. They wanted to put one on Deal Road side of Joe Playa Park, and we didn't want it.
They did. They did.
Well, there's one there. There's 4 of them. There's one there. There's one on the Whale Pond side. There's one on Sunset and one on Cindy Lane. So but we kind of got them out of the right of way, back off of the street a little bit. So this is what's coming at us. Why we want this new ordinance.
Is there any way, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say, it almost looks like a bit of a hazard. I mean, if you wipe out on one of those roads, you could take that whole thing out, you know?
Yep. Yeah. That's why one of the things in the ordinance states, when you see it, that if these things are going to be located in a high traffic area or a high pedestrian area, we have every right to ask them to put it underground. There's no reason these facilities can't be wired underground. It just costs them a lot more money to do it. But if it's a safety issue, we can kind of require and almost demand that they put that underground in those areas. So when they start.
Yeah, I mean, just honestly, it's a bit of an eyesore, to be honest with you. I thought they
Yeah.
were for signals or something. They were gonna put some crosswalk lights in, but they're really pretty industrial.
Yes. Yeah.
Can they be dressed up, meaning put trees around them or anything?
Oh, yeah.
We could put some low landscaping around them. Yeah. But yeah, it's too close to put trees, but we could put low landscaping around and dress it up. And those things, the landscaping will grow to 3 or 4 feet high.
Okay, anybody else?
Hey, Mayor, you wanted me to remind you about the TOSA appointment.
Okay, so just gonna, thank you. There's gonna be a spot coming up, but it seems like the one fella who was coming off is not moving for a while. And he'd probably like to stay, and so would TOSA wants to keep him as long as they could have him. As long as he's living in town, so he's renting back his house, I think, right till the summer. So we don't have to worry about that spot right now. All right, is there anybody else that's being reappointed this year? That's what I'd like to know. You know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah, I'm not aware. I don't know
I don't know whose term is
Yes.
up.
if you have that list in front of you. You're muted, Jeff.
Yep. Look, I'll research that and let you know.
Thank you.
Okay,
Reappoint.
okay. All right, that's that one. What else we got, Dave?
I'm all clear unless Marty's got something for executive.
Well, we're gonna do executive in a moment. We got a couple items, but I want to see, anybody else out there? Is anybody from the public joining us?
I got a question, Chris, if nobody is.
I just wanted to, something Buddy mentioned before, the 6 different cannabis uses. I just wanted to tell you what they were, which we approved, was cultivation, manufacture, wholesale, and distributor. What we didn't approve was retail and a retail delivery service.
Okay,
So, and apparently the bids came in on cultivation and manufacturing.
okay. So
Dave,
that, go ahead,
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
go ahead, Rob.
So Dave, our meeting got cut off this morning. So one of the things I just wanted to ask, and I'm sure this is standard language from the state and or the county and or the feds, regarding ordinance to, resolution 2, sorry, I don't know if it's equal rights or which one of them. It says that we have to report at least annually, and you got to publish the resolution in the official newspaper of Ocean Township. I don't know. I'm assuming we've done that in the past, but I don't remember ever seeing a
Yes,
report.
we always publish it.
Okay, and then the annual report we get as well?
I have no idea. That I don't know. I know I publish it.
So just FYI, Dave, it's in there. I don't know that I've ever seen it.
That's you're referring to resolution 002, affirm the township's ocean civil rights
Yeah,
policy.
yeah.
Right. So number 7 says the township manager shall establish a system to monitor compliance and shall report at least annually. I don't know what you got to report. I don't know that I've ever seen it, but just an FYI. I'm sure, again, boilerplate language, but I don't want to get caught not reporting it.
Okay, I'll take a look into it.
You got it.
I'll work with Jess on that.
Okay. Anybody else before we go to close? No? Okay,
Okay.
we're
See
ready.
everybody in 2 weeks.
All right, see you,
Very
Greg.
good.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Greg. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting of certain circumstances, and whereas the public body is of opinion that such circumstances exist, now therefore be it resolved, Ocean Township Council of Ocean Township, County of Monmouth, as follows: the public shall be excluded from discussion and of action herein specified subject matters, general nature of the subject matter to be discussed, C1 and C2 as they appear on the agenda. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, so let's call the meeting of January 12th, 2022 to order. Jesse, you have the roll call, please.
Mayor Siciliano,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Here.
Councilmember Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Okay, let's rise for a pledge allegiance, and let's remain standing for a moment of silent prayer to remember our friend Marshall Conlon. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
Okay, be seated. Thank you. The notice requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 9th, 2021. Before we get into our regular meeting, I do want to say, I started off by saying we want to have a moment of silence for our friend Marshall Conlon. We just want to remember him. Marshall was a more than 50-year volunteer over at the Wanamassett Fire Company, a longtime resident here and also Neptune. And he just gave it, he epitomized what it means to serve and to volunteer. He did it well until he was late 80s. We even named a street over after him ceremoniously over at the golf course there, just to kind of recognize what Marshall has given his contributions to the township. And so we just want to remember him. Marshall passed during the holidays, and we're going to miss him deeply. And I know the firehouse is going to miss him, and things really won't be the same around there. And we thank Marshall, and our condolences to the family. Okay. I'm going to go around now and ask the council members each one, and we can start in alphabetical order as we've done once before. That seemed to work out good. So anybody have anything they want to share tonight? Rob?
I don't know what anybody else is announcing, but I want to thank the manager and the VNA. One of the residents had suggested between Christmas and New Year's if we would host a testing facility, and Mr. Brown jumped right on it, was able to work with the VNA, and now Oakhurst Fire Department is hosting the VNA. They're doing testing on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Oakhurst Firehouse. No appointment is necessary. If you have any questions, you can call Town Hall at 531-5000. They'll be happy to help you out.
Great. Good stuff. Marge?
Nothing to report at this time.
All right. Dave?
Yes, I wanted to guys give you an update on the status of the planning board's re-examination of the master plan. Just want to let you know it's back into Jim Higgins's hands, and we expect to hear back from Jim sometime between March and April, and that'll be a meeting where the public will have a chance to hear and comment on Jim's recommendations for the re-exam. I also want to give a big thank you out to the DPW for getting the roads plowed, as well as getting the late leaves up. I know it's a tough balancing act out there with Mother Nature, but I want to give Mark Desakias and his crew a thumbs up for a great job. And that's all I've got.
Good stuff. John?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year. Jesse, I want to welcome you on board officially with your first meeting. I can't wait to see how things turn out over the next few years, or 10, or however long you've got.
Whoa.
I want to thank
Thank
Dave
you.
Brown. Yep, welcome aboard. Not that there's much welcoming to do since you were already here anyway. Thank you, Dave and Mike Petrucco, for assisting our wrestling folks, Coach Gary Falco and Coach Jeff Zimmerman, on getting them the access off our property so that they could be able to do their sport without missing their tournaments that they have to hold this weekend, which are off-site out in Marlboro. But that was a big help. I appreciate you guys getting that together for us. And I just want to say how much I do appreciate not only our local township road guys in clearing the snow, but the county and the state. When you're stuck in standstill traffic for 18 hours in another state like Virginia, you just really appreciate the job that our guys and women do out there on the roads in keeping everything clear, and the systematic approach that they have to keep everything moving is just absolutely amazing. When you sit and you stand and you don't move and you see what we can accomplish here in the state of New Jersey, I think it's fantastic.
Great. Right. You really appreciate it. Dave, Marty, anything?
Thanks, Mayor. Just want to give a kudos also to the Department of Public Works for the job with the snow. Just let the town know, get ready. We may have another event coming this weekend, so we're keeping an eye on that. And I must pass on the kudos for the VNA coming in and doing the testing to our emergency management coordinator, Tom, who's leading the way in efforts and putting that together, as well as our acting chief. So thank the both of them for their participation.
Yeah, good stuff. I met with, I think, of course, with the board of ed president, and of course the superintendent had called me in on a Zoom meeting the other day because they're trying to struggle how to get all the students tested. And so I called Dave immediately, said, well, we're working through Dave, and Dave went through OEM, and I think VNA is going to keep piggybacking on top of what they already have in place so we can do something for the students there as well. And big help. I mean, the school is appreciative. We're appreciative of VNA for stepping in like that and doing all that testing. That's a good thing in addition to what they're doing for us now. So good stuff. That was all I really have. We're going to go right into our meeting here. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions, understand resolutions that appear on the agenda, and is not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions that do not related to an item on the agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. That being said, I don't know if anybody from the audience is out there. If there is, anybody has any questions as to the consent agenda or resolutions that appear in the meeting, now would be the time to state your name and address for the record. No, Jesse, nobody out there?
I don't see anyone.
Okay. Seeing and hearing no one, I'm going to move on. Someone please offer the minutes and the resolution 2201 through 2203.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Yes.
Siciliano,
Yes. Okay, for individual action, we have resolutions 2204 to approve the 2022 temporary budget. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Napolitani, Deputy Mayor
Yes.
Napolitani, Councilmember Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Siciliano,
Yes. 2205, authorize the mayor and municipal clerk to execute 2022 agreement with Monmouth County for Special Citizens Area Transportation, commonly known as SCAT. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Councilmembers Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Siciliano,
Yes. And 2206, authorize the execution of an agreement with USDA for wildlife management services for a period of February 1st through September 30, 2022. What are you going to do? Stamp all the hides that we find on the road? How's that work?
they
Grade
addle
A.
the,
Grade
they
A.
addle the eggs.
Okay. It was just a little off-putting. I'm like, what? USDA trying to manage wildlife. What are they doing? Anyway, someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher.
That's a double yes.
Right.
I think we have too many votes.
Siciliano.
Yes, that'll be the 6th vote.
Okay.
All right. 2206, authorize the execution of, oh no, we did it. 2207, approve the 2022 cash management plan. I might have to turn the page. Yep, that's it. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Siciliano.
Yes. 2208, approve the 2022 interest rates and penalties for delinquent taxes, assessments, and other municipal charges. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
councilmember Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Siciliano.
Yes. 2209, authorize the 2022 state tax sale and request approval for DLGS to conduct the said sale electronically. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano. Oh,
That's my yes, yes. All right, 22010, authorize a contract with Seacoast Chevrolet to perform vehicle repairs for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2022, at a cost not to exceed $30,000. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Okay. Out of the way. And then 2212, authorize professional, no, 11?
Yeah.
Sorry. Approving the list of qualified vendors for professional services within the Township of Ocean for 2022. Let me mark that off. Okay, got it. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Marge, does she have a vote for me? Yes. That's great. All right, 2212 is a long one. Authorize professional service contracts for the year January 1st to December 31st, 2022 for the following: animal control services through Monmouth County SPCA, appraisal services with Sockler Realty Services Group, Inc., auditing services, Suppley, Clooney and Company, bond counsel, Gluck Walruth, COA attorneys, Serenian and Edwards and Nolan, COA consultant, Clark, Canton and Heinz, labor attorney, Ruderman and Roth, and planning services, James W. Higgins Associates. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes on all. Okay. So we have 2213, authorize the extension of the HVAC maintenance contract with Air Systems Maintenance, Inc. Someone please offer. Right there.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. 2214, authorize a change in the custodian of petty cash for the Police Department Administration Division. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, but Jesse, let me ask you something. So that's not through, I mean, I thought they would do that through themselves. Who would
They
be the
have-
custodian?
Captain Patrick Martin and Captain Greg Skang.
Okay, and we still
They have
approve.
they have their own down there and we have ours up here.
Right, so why do we have to approve who's their custodian?
We just have to report to the state and
Gotcha,
let them know who's in charge of the money.
fair enough. You
It's the
answered
state.
my question. Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
2215, authorized professional service contract with T&M Associates to provide planning services to update and revise a rehabilitation study and analysis done in 2017 at various locations in the township to determine if these areas may be designated as area in need of rehabilitation. I'm glad to see we're bringing this back and get this thing done once and for all and go ahead with the plan that makes sense. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
second,
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Council Members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
yes,
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and thank you, Dave, for putting that back on there. We really would like to have a cohesive, a plan for the highway and just get that nice and cleaned up in the future here. All right, so 2216, authorizing the extension of the installment plan for those taxpayers who missed their payment deadline for the first installment of their special assessment that was due back in June of 2021. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
second,
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Council Members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
yes,
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. 2217, resolution of the mayor and council of Township of Ocean, Monmouth County, State of New Jersey, recognizing New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission application for Class 2 manufacturing licenses, Illicit Extracts LLC. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
second,
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Council Members Achara,
No.
Donlin,
yes,
Fisher,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
I'm going to say yes, even though it was a no vote on the ordinance to allow this, because I didn't think we were ready yet. Now that that's already come and gone, my obligation now to the township is to make sure that we have something, if it's going to go in, which it is, because it was voted for. So now we have to approve something that's going to make sense and be beneficial to the town. We're the arbiters of that too. So my vote was yes on that, even though I voted no on the ordinance. 2218, resolution of the mayor and council of the Township of Ocean, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, recognizing New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission application for a Class 1 cultivation license. Again, Illicit Extracts LLC. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
second,
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Councilmember Achara,
No.
Donlin,
yes,
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and again, even though I voted no on that, it's this time now that it's been approved through the other council members, it's our obligation and duty, I feel, as mayor and council to now really take care of what is going to go in there and have a say into it. So that's a yes vote on that one. So tonight for ordinances adoption, we have ordinance 2376. Jesse, would you read the title, please?
Ordinance number 2376, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21, Land Development, Chapters 3, 5, 13, and 16 of the Code of the Township of Ocean, establishing land use regulations and licensing requirements for cannabis establishments.
Okay, so someone please open the public hearing on ordinance 2376.
I'd like
I'll
to move to,
Go ahead.
Dave?
I'd like to move to open the public hearing on ordinance 2376.
Second?
Yeah, a second. Sorry, Chris.
That's all right.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Councilmember Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
yes,
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, anybody from the audience, if there are any wishing to be heard on ordinance 2376, now would be the time to state your name and address for the record. I'll defer to the clerk, seeing and hearing no
Oh,
one.
wait, Jackie has some, Jackie. Okay.
Could you just maybe go into more detail on it?
Well, this was in your packet there. These are setting the guidelines now that we have an ordinance allowing the regulations for licensing of the cannabis establishments. So, I mean, there's detail in your packet or online if you want to take a look at it. Marty, if you care to elaborate more.
I actually think the amendment is dealing with an issue we had to change in terms of the amount of fines because the fines were exceeded the amount that would be allowed under our general ordinance. So we had to reduce the amount of the fine that would be imposed for a violation. Other than that, the ordinance remains the same.
What were people being fined for? What were the violations?
The various regulations set forth in the ordinance in terms of how you would establish a use, but in addition to that, violations of the ordinance regarding use of marijuana in public places, etc. And we had fines. And again, I don't remember sitting here right now because we actually did this some time ago, but we had fines to set forth the amount that exceeded what we could do. So we had to reduce the amount of the fines.
So Jackie, just to be clear, there were no violations. This is presupposing if there's any violations to the ordinance, these are the limits of the fines that we can impose.
Right.
And so I guess violations to the ordinance would be, public consumption of marijuana. I mean, I don't really understand how.
Yeah, listen, ordinances are the town laws, and if they're broken, sometimes you'll receive a summons and or a fine, and it may even have appearance in our municipal court. And these are the guidelines of what the judge and prosecutor can seek if in the unlikely event we have some problem like that. Right. But we have to have that in the ordinance, and it's in there.
So, and the only thing that's changing, again, is reducing. We had a maximum fine, and I can't remember the number right now, but it exceeded what we would be allowed to do, and so we had to reduce that amount. Other than that, the ordinance is exactly the same ordinance that was previously passed.
So we're able to have these establishments here in town now, but there are regulations to the customers and their use. Is that?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the state, our ordinance doesn't necessarily deal with all the use because that's subject to state legislation, and they would, circumvent whatever we might impose. But there are certain obligations that we set forth in the ordinance regarding establishments and regarding individuals and their conduct and public areas, and the fines would be set forth as the maximum fines that's allowed by our general ordinance for fines for municipal violations.
And where will these shops be? Are they?
Jackie, there's no shops. We only approved cultivation and manufacturing. We didn't approve any kind of retail or medical. There's no retail in Ocean Township. We approved one.
That's what I thought.
For one use, and it's up in the Sand Hills. I'm sorry, I'm dating myself. Okay. It's up in our industrial park. Okay. And there's an 11-acre piece of property. It's in the middle of the industrial park up there, an ideal spot for it. And that's where
they're going to have like a greenhouse.
That's where it would be.
Okay.
They're all warehouses, basically.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to understand it.
Yeah.
Yep. And, I also wanted to ask, are the meetings now going to be on Wednesdays? Because
is this germane to ordinance 2376?
Oh, no.
You can ask that at the end of the meeting. Let's conclude this. Okay. Anything else on 2376? No? Okay. Anyone else? No? Someone please offer to close the public hearing on 2376.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2376.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani?
Yes.
Councilmember Chera?
Yes.
Donlin?
I love that.
Fisher?
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano?
Yes. Olivia too. Action please on 2376.
I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2376 and publish according to law.
Second,
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani,
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
yes, that ordinance has been moved. For introduction only, we have ordinance number 2377. Jackie, would you read the title, please?
Nope, Jesse.
Oh, God.
It's very, that's okay.
How about
Ordinance,
Jackie read it?
okay. Ordinance 2377, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean entitled Solar Energy Systems.
Great. That'll have its public hearing on the February 10th meeting, 2022. Okay, at this time, anybody from the public has any questions germane to Ocean Township? Now would be the time to state your name and address for the record and ask the question.
Jackie.
Becky Wenzel. Can I speak?
You broke up there, Jackie. Is that you trying to weigh in?
No, I was waiting for someone. Wait, I'm not on mute. No, I didn't know if you were going to say, yeah, I can speak. I didn't know if someone
You
else.
can. This is the public portion before we close.
Okay. Last week I missed the meeting because they got moved up to 5. I mean, the last meeting, not last week. The previous meeting, I guess, was December 30th.
Mm-hmm.
I missed because the paper said it would be 7 and then it moved up to 5. So anyway, I had a question on 2374 ordinance. Are you able to review that tonight? Because I missed that meeting. A lot of people missed it because it was moved up in the coaster.
Yeah, it's generally a meeting of really general housekeeping. It's not a significant meeting of anything of real importance to the township. We do it just because it's the last day of the year. And if there's any untidy business or anything left open. So it's usually an innocuous meeting, but what was your question on the ordinance? Was it an ordinance?
I guess it was 2374, amending it. It was recreation and swimming pools. I was curious, what were the details in that?
I don't have it in front of me. It was probably something with fees and hours and things like that.
Just not expansion of recreation or north.
No, that would be under a bond ordinance or under a capital improvement.
Okay. All right. Because I have been having conversations with Mr. Brown and with the police department about, trying to get something sort of regulated in terms of speed around our parks and the pool and any type of recreation area where there are children. And they were kind enough to meet my request and get a speed monitor in front of our house, which was great. I mean, it really did slow things down. People were more aware and, it was wonderful when it was up. But now it's been taken down and moved to another area. I'm not sure where in town. But I wanted to know if what it would cost to perhaps buy one like the one in Interlaken.
No, we have them on, actually have one on Whale Pond. We have one on Logan now. We're putting them throughout the town little by little. We have our own electronic speed sign. So if you go down Whale Pond Road and when you get past Dow Avenue, you'll see one right over there. So we are planning on putting
right in front of my house. I had.
No, you had a portable one. We're talking about temporary, permanent. We have 2 permanent new speed signs like they have in Interlaken. We've had those for a while, and we plan on putting more of those throughout the town. And they're flashing speed signs, and they're very effective because people
Did they
see
say
it.
thank you? Like Interlaken says thank you when you slow down.
No, ours aren't as polite because they're a little more,
That's a really nice one though, because it kind of warns you, it gets you to slow down
Listen.
before you even get up to it, before
They
you-
have one roadway where they need to worry about speed and a budget that can support that. We have 126 miles of roadway. We got to be a little selective on the style, but as long as it's effective, we're going to use them. Okay.
No, I understand. Well, I'm telling you, and I'm thanking you all for putting it there and telling you
Good.
that it really did make a difference. I think it was at the right spot across the street from
Yeah.
my house because it's right at the entrance of the park. That's where I see a lot of people, they enter and exit the park. The pathway leads them right out to Deal Road at that spot. So I would like to be, have it returned, whatever, or buy a new one.
Well,
So
we're gonna, like I said, every year when we do our capital improvements, we plan on how much we can put in the budget to get some of these improvements done. Ever since 1849, when we incorporate it, we didn't really do a cost analysis on what it would cost to buy this town, but we went forward with it, and we're going to do this anyway. They're not cheap, by the way, those signs.
like
$12,000, some of them. So
12,000?
yeah, up to 12,000. Depends on the design and what you're looking for.
Well,
So, but
unlike
to
the one
answer your,
Interlaken is a nice size, and it seems like it's also
yeah, that's
popular.
probably an expensive sign. We're probably looking for something that's in the 2,000 to 3,000 range, but we'll do the same job.
Well, you know what I would also like to offer my driveway for the police, like a speed check, a car to sit there, because if they gave out tickets for everyone that went 50 to 60, we could
Yeah, we
probably
could.
raise the money for a monitor to be there, and it would be perfectly fine with me. I would welcome it to have them sit there, because what happened was, when they were going fast, the speed thing would just start blinking, like red, like slow down, and they just sped down the street on the few that ignored the sign. But I think if we were actually giving tickets, I mean, the reason more so than it being a bit of a more modern sign in Interlaken, the reason people go slow in Interlaken, as we've brought up before, is they ticket
Right.
for 3 to 4, like 3 points over
Yeah,
the 25.
It's their only revenue stream. They have to do that.
But
It's their
why
only
can't we
revenue.
do it, Chris? Why can't
Well,
we do it?
we can. It's not practical, Jackie, and I'm going to tell you why. And we will do it when we can. We have somebody on patrol at each shift. And it's just, it seems all the infractions occur when there's not a police around. So if we have a police there, nobody's going to speed. As soon as he goes on his break or his shift's over, somebody's going to speed. Oh, why weren't you there giving tickets out? He was there. There are no tickets to give out because people were conscious of the police.
Well, that's a good
Same with
deterrent,
Monmouth.
sure.
So, I mean, it's effective when they're on patrol, but we can't patrol. We can't put all 63 out there at once. It's not practical, possible. It's not going to happen.
Well,
But they write tickets. You should see the budget. It's robust. They do pretty
it's
good.
just that Deal Road is such a main road, and
Yeah.
it is around the park. I mean, I would just think it would get priority. It's one of our main streets through
How do you
town.
know it doesn't?
Well, because we only had the speed sign up temporarily, and I'm telling you
Yeah.
now, it was working if it was effective.
But you don't know if these guys are sitting there on Dennis or Donald Drive.
Well, I didn't see any give tickets out when they went fast. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
but
was
you can't monitor Deal Road 24/7. How do you know?
No, but if I'm going in and out of my car, when I get out of the car, I'm watching. I would get curious, I'd
I'm
say,
going to
"Is
tell
it
them next time you
working?
write a
Who's going
ticket,
by?"
ring
I
Jackie's
wanted-
doorbell.
Well, I wanted to get, I wanted to take pictures of the people speeding. I was like, how can I get their license plate and then send it to the
You can
police
do that.
department? But I figured that they probably wouldn't hold any weight.
Do you have a ring?
Uh,
Get
do
a
I have
ring
a ring?
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But I
A
have
Blink or
to
one of
go in
those.
by the street though. But anyway, I would like to request to get one back, because, and also to, like, when can we have a conversation again about just slowing things around the park? Because I did call the New Jersey Department of Transportation again, and they continually brush me off and say that because Steel Road and many of the roads around the park are municipal roads, that you have the right as a municipality to make
do.
it whatever you like. That's your right to do that. So how do I,
Correct.
I mean, do I have to get a petition?
No. Here's what you do. I mean, you're doing what you've done. You've requested it through the police department. That's the correct channel, because traffic, we take our cue from traffic. In other words, they're the experts. They're on the road more often than you think. Of course, what they do, it's their job. Most of the police, right? They're out there, public work. These are the people that drive the roads. So they know the behavior of the traffic patterns, the speeds, et cetera. And there's a formula, there's a metrics to it of why they would come up with a 40, a 35, and a 25. And although we may not like that, it makes sense at the end of the day based on volume. It's about volume. So I don't pretend to know much about it. These guys are the experts, but I see you had an email in. You have a discussion going with Mr. Brown and I think the police department. So you're doing what you're doing and they're going to review it. They take every request really seriously. They don't brush them off here in
No, I
Ocean.
know. No,
These guys really do. If you ask traffic to look at something, they're going to do a study.
well, they told me to go back to DOT because there's some law, if the majority of the people are speeding, then it's okay. And
Yeah.
you know, like I said, it may have been okay when it was the deal test site, but it's a park now. It's a different
Understood.
landscape now.
No, no.
Anyway, I'd like to I'd like to just keep on that because it's for safety, for the public safety of our town. And you know, if we could set up another time to discuss it, not to keep everyone this evening about it, but I'd like to really see some improvement. I'd
Well,
like
why
to
don't
be
you
able to
request
see the change.
offline? I'm going to just say it again. Offline, send another email to Mr. Brown. I'm sure he'll set up a meeting if these guys are willing to do an in-person meeting with yourself, them, somebody
I think
from
I
traffic.
need
And
your
see.
support. I need your support.
Well, you have our support, but again, we don't acquiesce to every time somebody asks for something because that's reactionary and that's usually by emotion. We like to go on intellect also.
Well,
And the
I
police,
don't have any children that are going to the park. My
no, but they
nieces are grown.
supply us, the police supply us with the pertinent data that really tells us why they would make this speed or that speed. And, you know,
That's
we
why
can't go by that
I
too.
say that they should come to my driveway because then you can see all the kids and seniors leaving the
Mhm.
park and trying to cross the street.
Okay.
Welcome to do it. I really want to just see that change. I feel it's important before we have a tragedy, and none of us want to have anything like that happen. So then the other thing I wanted to ask in terms of us changing the schedule of the meetings, are you going to be, is it going to be at 5 o'clock going forward? Or are we going to be
They're always,
Thursdays?
they're always 5 for workshops, 7 for
I know.
public.
But last,
We're going to keep that schedule. Yeah.
but I missed the meeting on the 30th because it got pushed up to.
That was a special circumstance, right? We had to move it up for juggling everyone else's holiday schedule, who was available, who was 3-hour time difference to try to incorporate all the council members. So we had a quorum.
Right,
So
but if
we
it
had,
wasn't for Mrs. Hudson today, I wouldn't know that today was the meeting and that it wasn't Thursday. Mrs. Hudson had sent out a mail.
well, this change,
It
we
was
made it
published.
we made
It was
this a
published.
while ago. Go ahead, Jackie. Jesse, I'm sorry.
It was published and it's on the website.
I know, but you know, it's usually always on Thursdays, so it was a change of a day.
Okay.
So I guess I'm just asking, are we going to keep changing it now? Should we always look in the paper, or can we rely on it going back to Thursday?
We can rely on it unless we have to make a change.
Okay. I have one more question.
Okay.
I have one more question. Right, you know, I understand that with the property owner of the 30, you know, the 35 in Deal Road, the 32 acres. You had given them the approval to clear the land. If the litigation doesn't go their way, they're going to replant. I see, though, there's a lot more activity going on there, Mayor, and I was curious if you could explain what are they doing now? The trees are gone, but they're looks like they're putting cement. I mean, are they building foundations for just going?
Well, they're probably
along?
doing what they're doing now. The first phase is you clear the land and then you do your subsurface work, the engineering stuff that you have to do as far as the pipes and everything that you need for stormwater management. That's what you see going on now.
So that's just to
Underground
regulate
utilities.
the water. They're not putting the foundation of a plan of the shopping center plan, are they?
Not yet. I think right now they're still in their construction phase of they're just doing, like I said, all the terrestrial work. So they're putting in all the drainage pipes, conduits for all their other utility services, things like that.
Okay. So now if you're.
They haven't started a building yet, if that's what you're asking. That would require a permit.
It looks like, it seems quite bold to do that since the judge hasn't returned a decision yet.
It's a little risky, yeah, to spend that kind of money and then maybe have to return it back and supplant
It's
a
almost
couple
that
thousand trees.
it seems overconfident. And if the judge, it's almost like the judge has no power. And that seems kind of rude in a way to consider that. You know, it's kind of like, oh, who cares? She's gonna, you know, go our way. If you just keep building, right? I mean, it is in litigation. I mean, if it was already resolved, it makes perfect sense to go forward. But anyway, the other thing is that they're with all of the construction going on, many nights they leave that gate open. They don't lock it. I mean, I'm happy to see that there's a safety fence around the property now, but they're leaving the front door of that property open. I think there is should be a regulation that they lock that since it is a construction site. Maybe
we'll make sure, we'll let our construction office know, make sure that they stay on top of that. That's correct.
And the other thing is now they have that Burke fence, which is what they were using before the safety fence went up as a property marker. They have it like right up to the curb line. When you go to Logan, if you cross from Logan and you want to go up to the highway, like walk to go to the bus, they don't really leave you any public access now. If you're going from Logan to 35. The Burke fence is like practically right on the curb line, so people would have to walk in the street. They should move that back.
They're probably doing some work there and they're required to have that silk fence as far to the limit of construction. So if they're doing any underground work there, which I think they are right now with the drainage pipes and whatnot, you do want them to have that. It's probably temporary, but to the limit of where they're excavating, because the idea of a silk fence is to prevent any of that stuff from getting the ground and having a rain event and having this turbid water rushing down the street and into the ponds and streams.
But their land, their property doesn't go up to the curb, does it?
No, but the limit of work may, because they are doing other improvements.
Is that where the road, the extension to the road is going to go? Is that why they took the trees?
It's in there. Without having a survey in front of me, I can't tell you exactly, but that doesn't surprise me that they're doing work there.
So if this project were not to be approved ultimately, or let's say remanded back to the planning board, I'm sure that's all that would happen. Would that extension of the road, what was considered a road improvement, will that still happen? Will that extra lane still be cut through there then, even if the project didn't go forward?
No.
Oh, okay. So that won't get started then yet.
No.
I was curious if that's why they were taking the trees down there. All right. I think that's all the questions I have for tonight.
Okay. All right. Anybody else out there have anything? No. Seeing and hearing no one. So I'll make a motion to close the public hearing or adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Deputy
Roll
Mayor
call.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani, Councilmember Achara. Is he there? Oh, he left. That's right, he left. Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll say goodbye to our friend Marshall once again. I think Tom might put something on there, a memorandum of Marshall. That'd be nice. All right. Good night, everybody. See you at the next meeting.
Good night.
Good night.